I bought the OnePlus 12R used on Amazon so that you do not need to. The original price of this phone is $600. I bought a used one for $500. So I made the mistake of buying the OnePlus 12R on Amazon for $500 used when I could get it for $500 brand new directly on the OnePlus website. And they currently have a Mother's Day sale going on right now as well. If you trade in any cell phone, even if it's like a 20, 30-year-old phone, any random phone you find laying around the house, regardless of any condition, working or not, you get an extra $100 off. So right now you can get this phone for $400, which I think is a steal compared to the $500 that I paid for with this used phone. And I used the OnePlus 12 when it first came out. I tested it out for a few weeks. Definitely a really good phone at $800. It gives the Galaxy S24 Ultra a run for its money. But now I'm testing out the OnePlus 12R. And me coming from the Galaxy S24 at $800, this OnePlus 12R is a really good bargain. And it does a lot of things better than Samsung right off the bat. First of all, this phone comes in at 12 gigs of RAM compared to the 8 gigs on the Galaxy S24. It has double the storage, 256GB base model compared to the 128. It also has a bigger battery, 5500 compared to the 4000. It has 80 watt fast charging compared to 25 watt on the Galaxy S24. And as a bonus, the charging brick is also included in the box. So for Samsung, they just give you a wire. If you want the charging brick, you gotta spend another 20 to $50 depending on where and which one you buy. So there's a lot to like about this phone right off the bat. And before jumping to the actual unboxing, just want to give a quick shout out to my partner Mint Mobile. Currently they offer a 5G plan for as low as $15 a month. You get unlimited data, talk, and text. And for a limited time only, Mint Mobile is giving away 6 months of Paramount Plus, so make sure to check them out, link in the description below. And you do have to buy 3 months of services upfront. The unboxing is probably the funnest part of buying a new phone. Even though I bought a used phone, just opening it for the first time is still a fun experience. And just looking at this box, on the surface you can definitely tell it is a used phone. The box is already cut up. Amazon didn't even bother putting it any packaging or any additional plastic around it or even a sticker thanking me for buying a used phone. It is literally a box that somebody bought, used, and returned. But a box is just a box. After you open it up, you can probably just toss it and never look at it again. So we got the standard pamphlets here, nothing too exciting, and then the phone is right there up front and center. We'll put that aside for a second. And to see some other accessory that it has this charging brick in here. It is only 65 watt fast charging, even though OnePlus 12R does support up to 80 watt fast charging in the US. And since this is a used phone, you can tell this brick is super scratched up and beat up. I'm pretty sure someone probably returned an older brick that they had a few generations ago. With this being an only 3-month phone, there's no way the charging brick can be so damaged and scratched up. In addition to that, the charging cable. This is the first time I have gotten a broken cable before. I mean, I don't buy a lot of used phone, but this one, the Galaxy S24 Ultra, the used phone was fine. But at least the charging cable came in one piece. This one, it looks like whoever had this phone previously, they probably broke their cable or had an old cable from 10 years ago and just decided to package it and return the phone along with the OnePlus R. I think that is what's happening. So that's the downside of being used. You never know what you're going to get and have to deal with weird situations like these. Like with Amazon, you can just return it. You do have a 30-day return policy, so. Alrighty, so upon further review, it looks like someone bought this phone and switch out the charging brick. So I was supposed to be getting the 80 watt charging brick included in the box. Instead, I got a 65 watt charging brick that is super scratched up and probably been used for a few years. And in addition to that, they gave me a broken cable. I'm supposed to have a proper working cable. No worries there, or you can just contact the customer service. Be sure they'll give you a partial refund. Phone looks like it's in good shape. It looks like there's an IR blaster up here, which is really exciting. Wasn't expecting that. They do have that on the OnePlus 12. It's nice to see that they include it in the R as well. They got the mute switch on the left hand side. It is a little bit on the higher side with this being a pretty big phone at 6.8 inches. I feel like they should have made it lower, because if I want to mute my phone, I really have to crawl my finger all the way to the top, do some finger gymnastic and shift the phone up and down just to even reach the mute toggle. So it's either always going to stay on mute and never touch it again, or I have to shift my fingers back and forth. I just wish it was a little bit lower. The other side is just a volume rocker, the power button. Nothing too exciting there, pretty standard. I do like the color in this phone. I chose this blue, sky blue looking color. It does have a glass back. You can use it as a mirror and it is pretty reflective. It does leave some fingerprint, so that if that is something that bothers you, just keep that in mind or slap in the case. If you bought this phone brand new, they will actually throw in a case for you, so you can always use that. Minor cosmetic design critique on my end. It reminds me of the Galaxy 8 through 20, where Samsung had glass back and leaves a lot of fingerprint. In the recent years, like the Galaxy S24, they use new materials, so there's no longer fingerprint magnet in the back. So now I'm setting up the phone. I did notice while I am transferring everything over, all the apps are downloading. The phone did get a little warm. I did not experience this with the OnePlus 12 or the Galaxy S24. Those phones are running the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip. This one is running the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. It's only day one. I'm setting everything up, so I'll hold my breath just in terms of how this phone's going to perform in the long run if I'm playing game or do anything intensive. I'm not sure that I'm going to experience any heating issues in those cases. But first day is always a lot of things going on. All the apps are downloading, everything is transferring. So maybe it's just the initial impression, but I did notice it did get a little warm as I was setting everything up. But this wraps up the day one in life with this phone. And as I got everything up and running, just took it for a quick spin, snap at least one photo of my dinner using the OnePlus 12R, and then I snap a photo with my Galaxy S24 as well, just so you guys can see the differences. This is just the main camera, point and shoot. I'm not doing anything fancy. The OnePlus 12R does not have the Hasselblad branding, so you're not going to get the best of the best that OnePlus does have to offer. So I think for the most part, under normal use cases, it might be fine for most people, but I can do more testing as well. And in this video where I'm actually doing all the talking, I'm recording this video on the OnePlus 12R. So just some initial camera tests there. Then I went to shower with this phone. I was able to use it in the shower. It is only IP64 water resistant, which is okay with water. Splashing it, hitting it is fine. Rainwater, shower water. You just cannot submerge it in the pool for half an hour like you can with Samsung phones where they are IP68 water resistant. So it's just something to be mindful of. You can type, you can use your phone normally. So that's pretty nice. The only downside I noticed that the fingerprint sensor, this is the optical fingerprint sensor, so it is an older version. Compared to the Galaxy S24, they have the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor and they have a newer generation as well. So the Galaxy S24 works better when it is wet.
I took a job reviewer just in case you didn't remember me.
So the Galaxy S24 definitely works better when using it in the shower. You can change music, you can pick another podcast or playlist. You can unlock the phone easier. The OnePlus 12R does struggle a little bit with the older sensor. And with all the heat and steam going on, face unlock struggles a little bit as well. You can always use the passcode. It does take some effort, but just something to keep in mind. And setting up this phone was a breeze. Fingerprint sensor worked fine. Face unlock is really fast in OnePlus phone as usual, much faster than Galaxy phones. I just scanned the QR code from this phone using my Galaxy S24. Everything transferred over seamlessly. It took about 20 minutes or so. I'm glad that it was a smooth transfer process. When I use Galaxy phones, for some reason, they never really transfer correctly. I always run into some type of bug, even if I use the cable included with the Samsung phones. But in this case, I went for the wireless route. Everything moved over and is exactly everything I expected to be. I didn't have to log in all my Gmail and everything like that. So that was a nice process. And this phone being a 6.8 inch, it is comparable to the Galaxy S24 Ultra, but I do like how the edges are curved, so it feels more comfortable to hold in the hand. For some reason, in recent years, Samsung made the Galaxy S24 Ultra more boxy, so sometimes I feel like the edges stab me in the palm of my hand and it hurts a little bit. So just some thoughts there just around the ergonomic and just how it feels to hold the phone and using it in general. And me listening to music and podcasts in the shower. The speakers is really loud on this phone. It's not scientific by any means, but it is much louder than the Galaxy S24 base model. So if you're a fan of listening to music and podcasts in the shower, this is a great value at $500. Alrighty, this wraps up day one in life of this phone. Just a quick unboxing video, some initial thoughts. I'm going to test out this phone for the next few weeks and give you guys more updates. Let me know if there's anything in particular you want me to cover. But on surface, this looks like a really good value at $500. The OnePlus 12 is a great value at $800 when you compare it to the Galaxy S24 Ultra. And this phone at $500 makes me question the value of the OnePlus 12 just because this one has a lot to offer in this price range as well. Alright guys, please check out my last video where I review the Galaxy S24 after using it for 90 days if you are interested. I appreciate the time as always. Remember to like and subscribe and see you guys in the next video.